Hello everyone. In our practical sessions, today we are going to discuss about the different steps in the volumetric analysis. In this lecture, we can discuss about different definitions and the terms and the equipments and the requirements of volumetric analysis. So what is a volumetric analysis? It is a general term for method in a quantitative chemical analysis in which the amount of a substance is determined by the measurement of the volume that the substance occupies. It is commonly used to determine the unknown concentration of a known reactant. Volumetric analysis is often referred to as a titration. We can often use the term titration for volumetric analysis. It is a laboratory technique in which one substance of known concentration and the volume is used to react with another substance of the unknown concentration. Now, different definitions and the terms in the volumetric analysis. So, first, what is a volumetric analysis? Volumetric analysis involves the preparation, storage, and the measurement of the volume of chemicals for analysis. So, what is volumetric titrometry? The quantitative chemical analysis, which determines the volume of a solution of accurately known concentration required to react quantitatively with the analyte. The analyte whose concentration is to be determined. And the volume of the titrant required to just completely react with the analyte is the titer. The next important term, what is titration? Titration is a process in which a standard reagent is added to a solution of analyte until the reaction between the two is judged completely. The next important term which can be used repeatedly are primary standard. Primary standard is a reagent solution of accurately known concentration, and it is also called a standard solution. So, the next important term is standardization. What is standardization? It is a process to determine the concentration of a solution of known concentration by titrating with a primary standard. So, it is important to know here that what is a primary and secondary standard substance. So, first, the primary standard substance. It is a substance whose standard solution can be prepared directly by dissolving the known weight of the substance in a fixed volume. The solution is known as primary standard substance. Example, we can prepare the primary standards with anhydrous sodium carbonate, oxalic acid, silver nitrate, etc. And the solution of the primary standard substance is known as primary standard solution. So, what are the requirements for a substance to be primary standard? The first, it must be available in a pure form and should be non-toxic. The second, it should not be hygroscopic, that it should not have ability to absorb moisture, or deliquescent. It should have high molecular weight or the equivalent weight so as to minimize the weighing error during the weights. It should be easily dissolved in water and it should be stable. In other words, the composition of the substance should not change in solid or in solution state for a long time. Now, what is a secondary standard? Secondary standard is the substance whose solution can be standardized or strength can be determined by the help of the primary standard solution. And that solution is known as secondary standard substance, and the solution is known as secondary standard solution, and it can be prepared by NaOH, HCl, KMnO4, FeSO4, etc. Now, the next important term used in the volumetric analysis is the endpoint. What is endpoint? The point at which the reaction is observed to be completed is the endpoint. The endpoint in the volumetric method of analysis is the signal that tells the analyst to stop adding the reagent and makes the final reading on the burette. The endpoint is observed with the help of a indicator. Indicator we will discuss further in other slides. Now the next important term is the equivalent point. What is equivalent point? The point at which the equivalent or the stoichiometric point of the titrant is added to the analyte is based upon the stoichiometric equation. So what is an indicator? An indicator is a substance which is used to determine the end point in the titration. In acid-base titration, organic substances like weak acids or the weak bases are generally used as indicator, and they change their color within a certain pH range. Here there are various examples of indicators are tabulated. Various indicators like methyl orange, methyl red, the litmus paper, the phenol red and phenolphthalein, etc. are used with a difference in the pH range. These are the different pH range, and with these pH range there is a color change. For methyl orange the color change is pink to yellow. For methyl red the color change is red to yellow. For litmus paper the color change is red to blue. For phenol red indicator the color change is yellow to red, and for phenolphthalein the color change is colorless to pink. So these are the color change and the pH of some common indicators which are used in volumetric analysis. Now what are the equipments? Volumetric analysis involves a few pieces of equipments like pipette for measuring accurate and precise volume of the solutions, the burettes for pouring the measured volume of the solution, the conical flask for mixing two solutions, wash bottles, these contains distilled water for cleaning the equipment, the funnel for transferring of liquids without spilling, and the volumetric flask, a flask used to make up accurate volumes for solutions of known concentration. These are the different equipments like volumetric flask, the belly pipette, the burettes, measuring cylinders, graduated pipette and the conical flask. These are the equipments or the glasswares used in volumetric analysis. Now, what are the requirements for successful volumetric titration? The first important point is the reaction must be stoichiometric. Stoichiometry tells us what quantity of each reactant we need in order to get enough of our desired product. So, the stoichiometric is well defined reaction between the titrant and the analyte. The second important requirement is the reaction should be rapid. The third important requirement is that the reaction should have no side reactions, no interference from other foreign substances. The next important requirement is there must have some indications of end of the reaction, such as color change, sudden increase in pH, zero conductivity, etc. And the next important requirement is that there is a known relationship between the end point and the equivalence point. So these are the different requirements for successful volumetric titration. So this is all about the different terms, the equipments and the requirements of the volumetric analysis. That's all for this lecture. Thank you for watching.